G'day ladies and gents, Lego here. It was a bright and sunny day out here in KZN and I thought, well, while it's so windy, let's maybe do a video about dealing with strong side winds when motorcycling. So the purpose of this video was to just share a little bit of my experience with you regarding dealing with strong side winds. This was something that I looked into and researched quite a bit when I started as a new rider about a year, 13 months ago. The area where I stay in the north coast of KwaZulu-Natal in South Africa is there's quite a lot of very strong side winds that we need to deal with, and especially as a new rider, this was very challenging for me. I found a lot of good content and helpful content. I will later maybe put some of the links of things that I viewed in the past in the description below. But most of it spoke about wind coming from one side or quite constant wind, where some of the suggestions was to have a heavier bike or to lie low on your bike or to, for example, maybe stick out your knee or your leg in the direction from where the wind was coming to neutralize the side effect or the side component force of the wind on the bike. Now this all works very well, but what I've experienced in the area where I ride or the areas where I ride is that the wind is very variable. It will suddenly come from the left and then within a few hundred meters switch to coming from the right, and then there's suddenly no wind at all, and that's just due to the topography and the area where I stay. And this is challenging because you can maybe stick out your leg into one direction, but within a few meters, the wind is coming full force from the other side, and this can actually throw you off balance. Or when you're going into a corner with wind coming all the way from the front, and all of a sudden when you lean into the corner, going through the corner, you get the wind from the side due to the corner, or maybe just due to the wind changing direction while you're in the corner, which happened to me in the past. And yeah, this was very challenging for me to deal with. So a very, very easy and nice trick that I discovered while riding one day is that if I switch to a higher gear, this actually helps a lot with stabilizing the bike. Now, I'm not an expert in motorcycle dynamics. I'm sure there's some guys out there that knows much more about this and why it happens. I can only assume it's something to do with the higher engine revs, maybe the spinning of the clutch disc that adds to the gyroscopic effect, or maybe having a little bit more power going to the rear wheel. But because I always try to ride and drive economically, I would typically, as soon as I can, go into sixth gear on my bike to sort of try and save fuel. But I realized then when I have wind, it's better for me to drop it into or fifth gear, or even fourth sometimes. And just by doing this, I got an amazing stability effect that made my life so much easier when I have to ride in these variable side wind gusts that I experience. So yeah, that is more or less it. I have decided, this was such a nice sunny day, that I've decided to keep most of it in this video, but I don't expect you to sit through all of that. So if you want to see some nice sunny seaside riding, you're welcome to stay on. If you want to skip to where I actually go onto the highway and illustrate this to you, then I would recommend that you maybe look at skipping to 21 minutes into the video. This will more or less be where we go onto the highway, where I will illustrate that. Otherwise, enjoy this, and yeah, thank you for watching, and please let me know if you maybe have also tried this, or if this technique works for you. I would really appreciate your feedback. Ride safe, and remember, all the gear all the time. I got on the highway, and you will see that I eventually go all the way into sixth gear, and just after that I start experiencing some really bad side wind. And then I switch back up into fifth, and the moment I do that, it's not that visible on the video, but the stability of the bike become much better, and actually much easier for me to handle the side wind. So here you'll see I'm going all the way into sixth, and just after that back into fifth. You can see there, making my life much easier. Yes, super bike guys. I I don't do the 180s and the 200s, especially not on this bike, especially not in this area. Um, I'm still also fairly beginner, so forgive me that I don't eat the 200s and stuff. I'm just trying to drive safe and ride safe before I get into some higher speeds. Yeah, so that's more or less it. Thank you very much for watching. Like, subscribe if this helped you, and I'm looking forward to your comments in the comment section. Ride safe.